this whole thing is just ridiculous, and if you think about it, we're going to be losing the variety of teachers, so we're going to be having less of an education for and it's just going to completely destroy our economic system. It's not going to make things better, so I don't know what Walker's trying to do. So many people, if you look at the foreclosure homeless, it's terrible, and if you look at the people that aren't able to afford any more new clothes, they're wearing holy stuff all over the streets, and it's ridiculous. You're hitting one of the people, the class of people that already don't have that much. Why not take it out on the people that have the money, the people that are able to pay for all this stuff, that aren't trying to support families and all this stuff?
For the rich.
We fought this fight in the 30s, and we're going to end up fighting it again. As soon as people get uncomfortable and they can't pay for their homes, they're starting to live in boxes like they did in the 30s when times are really tough. They'll go back into the streets and we'll have another revolution on our hands.
Have an overthrow in Egypt, and I think the people right here now want to see a new governor put in place. I, for one, want Walker out of here, one way or another, if we have to physically remove him.
Class struggle, plain and simple. This is about the rich and the poor.
By taking away those rights, he's practically deleting the 20th century.
Then this is tipping point. It has been reached. The occupation of the Wisconsin Capitol continues for a third day, and Richard Trumka, doing his best impersonation of the Muslim Brotherhood, is showing up in Madison himself today at 12 noon. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you some questions. Have any of you heard how poorly paid Wisconsin teachers are? Why haven't we heard that? That's right, because they're not poorly paid. If the Wisconsin teachers are poorly paid, the media would be plastering their salaries and benefit schedules and pension plans all across TV news and the front page of every newspaper. But they aren't doing that because the Wisconsin public sector salaries are way out of line compared to most people in the private sector. They cannot paint pictures of hardship. By the way, we always hear about liberals and everything they do is for the children. Does this constitute for the children? Does this not look like a bunch of bullying to you? I thought we were teaching in schools about bullying and how not to be bullies and what to do if you are bullied. And who now are the bullies? The Democrats, the leftists, their media supporters, the union members. Wisconsin has more than 300, now listen to this, Wisconsin has more than 300,000 public sector employees. Now, reportedly, many of them, such as teachers in Madison, get health care benefits worth more than $22,000 a year. Free, quote unquote, free, meaning they don't pay much for it. And that's one of the changes that the governor wants to implement. Have them pay a little bit of their own health care benefit. 300,000 public sector employees, many of them teachers, health care benefits worth more than $22,000 a year. You do the math. Just health care benefits, $22,000 times 300,000. Speaking of the media, where are all the headlines about the protesters in Wisconsin throwing a temper tantrum? We always hear about Tea Party temper tantrums, voter temper tantrums. Here we have one. We have a genuine, petulant, immature, childish bunch of bottom-feeder freeloaders acting in a temper tantrum. The unions in Washington are hiding behind the children. The unions in Wisconsin are hiding behind the children. They're using children as human shields, just like leftists and terrorists always do. Well, how else would you describe this? A lot of these people are out screaming in Madison will lose their jobs if they win. There will be layoffs. And Walker's not backing down. We got the audio sound bites coming up. Have you heard Walker blame his predecessor? Have you heard Walker talk about the rotten situation he inherited? Like our boy child president Barack Obama always does. Scott Walker's predecessor, the previous governor, left him a $3.6 billion budget deficit. Obama would be blaming his predecessor all day long in every public statement that he made. And the media would show Obama nothing but sympathy and would join the chorus Oh, how woe is Obama. Oh, how woe is Scott Walker. Well, the difference is Walker's a Republican. He doesn't have time to blame anybody. He's got to fix it. And the media would not be on his side anyway. And speaking of Obama, Obama has clearly taken the side of the union. Obama backs union uproar. The United States president is now interceding in a state matter. Well, you know, folks, it's almost as though he wants a civil war of this nature. It's almost as though he wants this unrest, so that maybe he can pretend to be Abraham Lincoln and solve it and fix it. Probably got his version of the Madison Address written, as opposed to the Gettysburg Address. Who knows? But Obama's constantly telling everybody, we all have to make concessions in these difficult times. We all have to make sacrifices. Everybody has to have some skin in the game. Well, apparently he means everybody except the unions or any other Democrat foot soldiers who might help him get reelected. They're having protesters bust in from all over the country here. Ohio is next. Kentucky is next. Tennessee is next. That's why this is the tipping point. Obama says Wisconsin balancing its budget is an assault on unions. Obama says Arizona protecting its citizens is an assault on federal law. Only a central planning authoritarian thinks this way. What's at issue here is an assault on states' rights. And Barack Obama, the President of the United States, is leading the charge in the assault on states' rights. I've got a story here. The media is all concerned about the Republican assault on Obama's budget. The Republican assault on Obama. The real assault is in Wisconsin. The real assault is in Arizona. And future assaults, federal assaults on states' rights are right around the corner. From his unconstitutional mandate forcing individuals to buy government-approved health insurance, to suing Arizona, from smearing a police officer to organizing unions to agitate against the duly elected state government of Wisconsin. We have a pattern here of bullying and a flagrant disregard for states' rights being exhibited by Barack Obama. It's no wonder 26 states have sued the regime to protect themselves from Obamacare. The president is determined to run the country from the White House, and these puny Republican state governors are not to interfere. The great constitutional scholar Barack Hussein Obama not only ignores rulings from the judicial branch, he ignores states and their laws. Apparently, they didn't teach federalism in community organizing school.